In this video, we have Ben Shapiro destroying Don Lemon on Confederate statues. Look, if you're sensitive, if you're a softie, or if you're still picking your belly button lint in your mama's basement, this video isn't for you. Without further ado, let's rock!
Oh my God! Wow!
Freedom of speech, and this conversation is very important to me, and I'm glad to have you on to talk about it. So what started out as a neo-Nazi murder in Charlottesville and the president's failure to denounce Nazi and white supremacists exploded into a discussion in this country about the removal of Confederate statues. Have we gotten away from the point of what happened in Charlottesville, what it was really about?
And it seems to me we clearly have, and I think that was the point of the alt-right and the white supremacists seizing on an issue that they know that there's actually broad public consensus on not moving a lot of these statues. There's a Quinnipiac poll that came out today showing that 50 to 39 Americans aren't big on the idea of moving all these statues out. So they seized on an issue that they think is a winning issue for them and then tried to broaden out their appeal that way. And I think a lot of folks on the left fell for it. They want to have this discussion anyway, and so they saw the opportunity to have this discussion. But it seems like a misdirection from what actually happened in Charlottesville. The issue in Charlottesville is white supremacy, not whether some people think that statues should come down or stay up, because clearly 50% of the American population doesn't want to keep these statues up just because they're a bunch of white supremacist racists.
Did liberals get played by President Trump?
I think pretty clearly they definitely fell for what was, whether he plans it or not, a trap for the left. I mean, he said, you guys don't have a limiting principle. You're going to go after statues of George Washington or Christopher Columbus or Thomas Jefferson. And now you're seeing that actually happen on the left. The most obvious stupid case is this banning of this reporter from ESPN named Robert Lee, an Asian guy, from covering an event at University of Virginia. You know, the political correctness of the left is actually driving people into Trump's arms, even though Trump's initial response to Charlottesville and then his Tuesday response to Charlottesville was entirely wrong. I think that one thing that Trump has had, he's just benefited from the fact that the left is constantly reacting to everything he says with an enormous level of passion, and I think that that's actually a negative. Even what he did last night insofar as going after the media, because the media reacted, instead of doing objective analysis of where he was not telling the truth, they jumped to, extraordinary critiques of his mental health and talking about how he was crazy and how he was morally bereft and all this stuff. All that does is it plays to his crowd. His crowd thinks that the media is out to get him. His crowd thinks that the media have a particular emotional animus for him personally. And so anything that the media do is going to exacerbate that.
Well, two things. And by the way, just because ESPN, I want to get it correct. ESPN has responded, and they were saying they didn't ban the guy's name is Robert Lee.
They moved him off of it.
They didn't ban him. They asked him if he wanted to, and he picked something that was closer to his family. They said that they didn't ban him, and they were.
The one thing I want to say real quick is, especially, and I will say this as far as Trump goes, right? 100%. Unless you living under a rock somewhere in Idaho, they definitely do. They bash him. The media, I mean, we all know this, right? And certain media stations don't, but a lot do, right? And I need us to get to the point where, we're not doubling down on one person. We're kind of looking at everything, looking at the scope of where we're at as a country, right? But unfortunately, the media doesn't want to do that, right? They're just like double down, double down, double down. And they've been doing this for years. This is not a new thing. This has been happening for a while. Back to the video, though. Let me know what you think. Back to the video, though.
Looking out for his own interest.
They're trying to take away our culture. They're trying to take away our history. And our weak leaders, they do it overnight.
The media is simply responding to people who are there protesting and to the story of the statues being taken down. The media hasn't called for the statues to be taken down. So I don't understand when he says the media is trying to take away your culture. What is...
I mean, I do think that one of the conservative critiques of the media, and this has been true for as long as I've been alive and probably before that, is that the media have an agenda, a political agenda, and they hide behind this patina of objectivity in order to press forward this political agenda. Don, you were very passionate about President Trump's statements about the media last night, and I think some of that was justified, but I think a lot of it actually goes to what his base thinks, which is they think that you have an animus particularly for President Trump, that you have an animus for his agenda on things like Confederate statues. I think you personally probably want to see these Confederate statues come down. I mean, Is that true? I mean, I would assume you do.
Listen, I lived in the South for a long time, and to tell you the truth, I knew the statues are there. I was offended by the statues. Whether they should come down, I would leave it up to the individuals. But I do think that they are insulting to people, just as you would you want to see a statue of Hitler as a Jewish
No, I totally
person,
understand your point of view. The point is that you have a point of
which
view,
I made
right?
earlier. Would you want to go to? And listen, we shouldn't pretend that there's this fake objectivity. Everyone has a point of view. It doesn't mean that you're biased. And so, but just to get people to understand, as a Jewish person, you would not want to go to a Hitler high school. Well, that same effect, African Americans, that has the same effect. Robert E. Lee has the same effect on African Americans. And so, and also the Confederate flag. And so I think we have to be understanding of each other. It's not that I don't like the president or have an agenda against the president. I'm simply speaking the truth as I see it.
Okay, so and I totally understand that, but what he's saying and what his people are hearing is he's saying essentially that you do have an agenda in terms of what you think, promulgating what you think about Confederate statues. You have a clear point of view on that. That's a perfectly acceptable and I think understandable point of view, but the implication is that you are an objective reporter who's actually propagating a point of view, whatever that point of view may be. I mean, you just said openly that you don't think that your point of view is biased, but your point of view clearly is biased.
But what I said about the president last night coming out of his speech had nothing to do with statues. I was talking about his behavior on stage. So that had nothing to do with that. Yeah.
Again, totally understood. But the way that it read is that you have a personal animus toward the president, and that's the way he wants to play it. So whether that's true or not, that's the way that a lot of his followers are going to take it.
I only have a personal animus towards ignorance when people don't know their history, whether that's the president of the United States, a guest on this show, or someone I speak to on the street. I think if you're going to be able to...
All right. Check it out. The statues. Let's confront the elephant in the room, right? Obviously, I'm a person of color, and what do you guys think that I think? Well, personally, I think we need to focus on. So first of all, I understand both of their points of view, right? So let me acknowledge that 1,000%. Instead of us focusing on some statues, why don't we focus on the fact that the average American is living check to check? Why don't we focus on the fact that the average American cannot afford to pay their grocery bill, their rent, right? Right. Just problems that, are affecting the average American, right? I think that we should definitely focus on that. But I also hear Don's. I'm not the biggest Don fan. I'll tell you right now, 100% not. I hear what Don's saying, but ultimately, I think we need to be focusing on bigger things than some statues. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm not saying it's right. Again, as a person of color, I'm not saying that it's right. Absolutely, I'm against the Confederate, all that stuff. 100%, I'm against that. I just look at the camera. I'm letting y'all know, okay? But I'm just saying, don't get distracted by the media and what the media. This is the media, by the way. I'm reacting to the media. Does that make sense? You see what I'm talking about? So let's talk about statues rather than this, right? Rather than gas prices, rather than groceries, rather than you can't afford to pay your rent, right? You're living check to check, right? Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it on this channel. No, because we tell the truth, right? I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not hiding. I'm not coming with my own agenda, right? There's none of that here. None of that. Back to the video.
You need to be able to defend yourself, and in order to defend yourself, in order to have a right, clear perspective, you need to know history and you need to be educated about it. And in many ways, I think people who are fighting for these issues are not. And that means the people who want to take the statues down, and some of them who do not want to take the statues down as well.
And look, ultimately, that's your opinion, right? Whatever you want. Some people, want to keep them up, which whatever, right? That's on them. Some people want to say, hey, look, no, this person stood for slavery. This person stood for, he was a terrible person, right? So let's take it down, right? But again, let's focus on the stuff that is actually going to push the needle, right? Because talking about this isn't going to do it. It ain't gonna cut it, right? So that's my personal opinion on how I feel about this stuff. And let me know what you think, though. Let me know what you think. And do you agree with me? Do you agree that, we're focusing on the wrong stuff here and we need to get back to, the stuff we should be focusing on and going from there? Whether the statues stay up, down, whatever happened. We push, we move on, right? It's terrible, 1,000%. I'm telling you right now, as a person of color, I'm not happy about it, right? But, you know, yeah, so that's my personal opinion with this. I know this is a sensitive topic, so I want to be careful with that. Also, really quick, before I end the video, I want to let you guys know that I just came out with something that you're really going to like, okay? It's called Top Tier, all right? So, you know, first of all, thank you guys so much for the support you give in this channel. We've grown exponentially already, okay? It's only been 1 month and we're already at the time of this recording, 30,000 subscribers. So I appreciate that, right? But as you know, we haven't taken on any sponsors, okay? Because we want to stick to the cause. We want to stick to the movement. So what I did is I dropped what's called Top Tier as $1.99, okay? It's just going to help support the channel. It's just going to help support us, keep the lights on, things of that nature, so we can keep these videos coming to you, okay? We really appreciate the support. We really appreciate the help, okay? Another perk about it is if you support and you drop a comment or you ask a question, right? I will answer that question in the comment section for you. I will directly answer your question because I'll see that, you know, I'll see your little badge. So you can join by hitting the little join button at the bottom of the video. You'll see it say join, and you can join right there. Other than that, guys, I appreciate the support. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Who do you agree with? Do you agree with Ben? Do you agree with Don? Let me know, okay? Other than that, that's pretty much it. Make sure you slap the like button, kick the subscribe button for more. Until next time, peace.